Ever since crop circles captivated global attention, the fields of Wiltshire have become some of the most watched landscapes in the world. Countless enthusiasts have spent sleepless nights conducting vigils in the hopes of witnessing the creation of a crop circle. Among these hopefuls was a young man named John Wayleigh. On the night of August 10th, 1996, John set out to Oliver's Castle, an ancient hill fort overlooking vast stretches of farmland. Despite heavy rain battering the landscape, he pitched a small tent and settled in for the night. By 3 AM, the relentless downpour lulled him to sleep. But an hour later, strange, high-pitched sounds jarred him awake. Curious and slightly unnerved, John unzipped his tent and peered into the wet darkness. What he saw left him breathless. Several glowing orbs of light floated above a nearby crop field, dancing in silent synchrony. Grabbing his video camera, he filmed the spectacle, transfixed by the ethereal scene.
The story is that a chap was out early one morning looking for UFOs, and just as it was getting light, he saw lights flying over the field. Picked the camera up, filmed the lights, and as the lights went over the field, this snowflake, this six-armed snowflake formation, appears beneath them.
By mid-morning, John arrived at the Barge Inn, a hub for crop circle researchers at the time, and unveiled his footage to a stunned audience. Onlookers crowded around, first watching the tape on his camcorder, and later on a TV screen. Word spread quickly. This was it. Proof many had been waiting for.
When the video of the manufacture of it was first shown at the barge, then in its pure state, people wept. People broke down. I mean, it remains a beautiful video, but we all thought, I thought, this is what we wanted. This is what we wanted, a glimpse of how it's done, a glimpse of how, we don't know what these lights are doing, but they did a balletic passage over it, and the wheat simply obeyed and swept itself down.
And so when this video, which is very short, went public, this seemed to be, this was it. This was the video we'd all waited for. Showing what many people have described. I mean, in the video you see circles appear from several different places at once. Although it's blurry, you can see it, and then bang, it suddenly joins up. And so this seemed to be the moment, right, the proof. They're not all man-made.
But as the footage garnered attention, whispers of doubt began to circulate. The footage, heralded by some as groundbreaking evidence, was swiftly targeted by skeptics. Rumours emerged alleging that John had collaborated with a Bristol-based film production company called First Cut to fake the video. Mainstream media outlets amplified these claims, with the Discovery Channel and National Geographic airing documentaries that framed the footage as a hoax.
But of course, almost instantly, people were just saying, well, it's video trickery. That's all that's happened here. There are so many questions, though, that have never really been answered, even down to who took this video. So initially there were claims that it was taken by a man called John Wabe, and then John Wayleigh, and even then other variations on the name. And then some people said, well, he was a student and had access to this kind of like technology. And this is 1996, bear in mind. This isn't now, where it would be fairly easy to knock that up on a home computer. That wasn't the case in 96.
Even prominent researcher Colin Andrews added fuel to the fire, stating that John had confessed to fabricating the video in an interview with Nippon TV, a Japanese network. Yet, despite Andrews' assertion, Nippon TV never aired the supposed confession, nor has any of the footage of the interview been made public. Oddly, Andrews himself claimed to possess a copy, but said Nippon TV refused him permission to release it. Why would a network go to all the trouble of conducting such an investigation, only to bury the result? National Geographic's documentary introduced another bizarre twist. A young man in sunglasses and a baseball cap claimed on camera that he had faked the footage. But those who knew John Wayleigh insisted the man was an imposter. The intrigue deepened when John vanished from public life altogether, leaving unanswered questions in his wake.
So then the doubts creep in, and then people start to analyse the video, and some say to do with this thing called overlapping fields, technical stuff, that they didn't think that it looked real. Others came up with exactly the opposite and said, oh no, this proves it is real.
Despite the controversy, numerous video experts examined the footage, many of whom concluded that it was either genuine or the work of exceptionally skilled professionals with ample time and resources, neither of which John Wayleigh appeared to possess. Jim Cray, a seasoned video analyst known for his work on programs like Sightings and Unsolved Mysteries, found no evidence of digital manipulation. He noted the orbs, natural distortions and seamless motion, which aligned perfectly with the wobbling handheld camera. Recreating such effects in 1996 would have required painstaking frame-by-frame animation, 400 frames in just 16 seconds of footage. Similarly, special effects expert Laurel Click, consulted by Strange Universe, stated that producing a comparable video would demand a team of experts and weeks of work. She too found no signs of tampering. Ralph McCarran, a video analyst, echoed these sentiments, emphasising the technical impossibility of animating objects with such precision under the constraints John faced.
Gut reaction first time you saw it?
Looked real good.
McCarran works with special effects and high-resolution video and film for a major studio. Frame by frame, using a variety of enhancement techniques, McCarran has studied the tape closely to detect any sign it may have been doctored.
What's most compelling, he says, is that it appears that the video is shot handheld. And if you've ever shot your own home movie camera without a tripod, you know that with every breath you take, the camera moves.
Everything moves with the motion of his camera, and that's really hard to duplicate unless the person who shot this was a 3D expert.
The type of thing you see in blockbuster films. There seems no doubt this effect was intelligently created.
The question is then, is that intelligence from Earth or elsewhere?
I guess that's up to your own belief system.
Even the timeline cast doubt on the hoax theory. If John had driven to Bristol to fake the video, he would have had less than 3 hours to create the formation, film the orbs and return to the barge inn. Experts unanimously agreed that such a feat was beyond the realm of possibility, especially for a lone enthusiast.
One of the unexplained aspects of this is that the man who took the video, whatever we call him, was trying to show it to people at the Barge pub, which is where many crop circle researchers used to gather, at lunchtime. So he was asking people, I've got a video, do you want to look at it? And that was only a few hours after this formation had appeared. We know it wasn't there the day before. If you are going to say, as some have said, that he faked this video, you would have to then get some footage of the formation. So he would have had to have got that at first light. Then he was studying, I believe, in Bristol, which is, you know, not up the road. He's going to take some time to journey back there, get the raw footage of the formation, then add in the lights flying over it. Now, even if you'd sort of done the lights as a special effect, and you'd even been to that field and got the general angles you'd need it to be at, you've still got to marry together convincingly two pieces of footage, presumably. And that's where it gets strange, because people that have tried to replicate that video, even with the crude methods of 1996, and the late Paul Wayleigh did that and came up with a not very convincing video, but he just thought, can I do it? It took him days. And that's the thing, this is 1996. How would there have been the time to have put all these sequences together in time to then rush back down to Wiltshire to the barge pub and be ready to show it to people?
Beyond the video, the crop circle itself held clues to its authenticity. Researcher Professor Michael Glickman revealed that the formation contained intricate hidden sevenfold geometry. This complexity went far beyond what appeared at first glance, with measurements and alignments so precise they seemed to defy causal replication.
But I put sevenfold to this, and look how it clicks. The mother circle A is precisely positioned and constrained by the outer arm crossing to a millimetre. So this was, for me, devastating, and I immediately called, I was in California, I immediately called John Michel, one of the great masters, and I said, John, I found that Oliver's castle contains a hidden, constraining sevenfold geometry. What does 7 mean? And he said, 7 is spirit, revelation, what lies behind the veil, and the eternal feminine. And I thought, boy, that's a good list.
28 years later, the Oliver's Castle formation remains a polarising artefact. Skeptics insist it was a clever hoax, despite the lack of hard evidence. Believers point to expert analysis and the sheer improbability of faking such a video under the circumstances. Ultimately, the debate underscores a larger question. Why are we so quick to dismiss what we cannot easily explain? Skepticism is of course vital, but when baseless assertions overrule logic, we risk losing sight of the truth. Imagine a court case where John Wayleigh stood accused of fraud. The prosecution would need to prove, beyond reasonable doubt, that he could have faked the video. Given the tight time frame, expert testimony, and absence of direct evidence, their case would crumble.
And the interesting thing about it when you watch it is, and this doesn't mean it's real or not real, but it does have a smack of authenticity to it. If you didn't know there were any arguments, you'd just go, wow, that's amazing. It doesn't look like fake 1996 home special effects. And all these years later, although people have made special effects of crop circles appearing, even now, the ones that they tend to do look a bit like computer effects.
And so, the mystery of Oliver's Castle endures. An enigma carved into the fields of Wiltshire, challenging us to look beyond the surface and confront the unknown. So which side of the argument do you favour? Was it all set up as a highly elaborate hoax to fool the public? Or did something genuinely mysterious happen? Let me know what you think in the comments below.